This time you were right. This time I didn't mess up. Thank you so much. Well, let's do it again. We had Dr. Sumerian. Thank you, Zeno. Thank you. We have Dr. Sumerian, which we had yesterday with 2706. That was the one with the forest that basically brings back a lot of animals and people that died. And like, yeah, there was those trees with those big ass growths, and then it just exploded out of them. That was the last one we had from Dr. Sumerian yesterday, and now we have exotic stars. Thank you, Zeno, for the heads up. Object class safe. Special containment procedures SCP 713 and its surrounding properties have been purchased by a Foundation front company to facilitate on-site containment. Approximately 1.4 square kilometers of the surrounding area have been enclosed in fencing. Mobile task force. I want to see. Which one is this? Oh, it's Pi, isn't it? Yeah, Pi. Sorry, I was like, is that Pi? Yeah, it's Pi. Pi 3, the dollar bills, is to monitor and patrol both the external and internal structures of SCP-2713. Any global coalition agents identified are to be immediately neutralized as long this is achievable without harming an -1 or -2 instance. Direct physical testing involving -1 or -2 instances is prohibited. Interviews are to be conducted only with the direct approval of SCP-2713 project director. And here you have the exterior facade of SCP-2713. SCP-2713 is an abandoned billiard hall in my neck. In rural Baldwin County, Alabama, which leads to an extra-dimensional space that resembles a club which employs exotic dancers to entertainment. This internal structure is accessible from multiple locations on Earth. SCP-2713, when viewed from the outside, resembles the interior of a billiards hall in a state of disrepair and decay. -1 instances act as a security and apparent patrons of SCP-2713. -1 instances are variable in nature through all appear as human. Most are either incapable of unwilling to provide Foundation personnel with their names, and the exact nature is mostly unknown. However, several -1 instances have taken the opportunity to discuss the identity and even the nature of SCP-2713 with Foundation personnel. See Big, Black, and Bold. Hey. Hey. I feel like you're totally talking about something else here. Dr. Philip Foster for interviews and information related to S-1 instances identified as Mr. Darius. Big, Black, and Bold. The 3 Bs. And the door of SCP-2713 is used to access the interior of SCP-2713. Individuals entering a holding room when -1 instance will check their identification, vaccination history, and criminal history. If individuals attempting to enter SCP-2713 do not possess authentic documents pertaining to those details, they will be refused entry. All attempts to use forged documents or documents belonging to others have resulted in refused entry. Additionally, entry will be refused if the individual record indicates involvement in any violent criminal incidents or a lack of regular flu vaccination. Upon initial discovery, -1 instances will grant entry to any individual with valid identification proving their age as over 17. However, after various incidents, the amount of identification required for entry increased, with the highest increase in restriction occurring after Incident 7. -2 instances are as exotic dancers inside SCP-2713 and self-identify with a variety of names which match common designation for stellar objects or their discoverers. These have included Adria, Mira, Bellatrix, and the Madventko sisters. See Incident 7. Through interviews with -1 and 2 instances, it has been determined that these instances believe they represent actual astronomical objects. Until the veracity of these claims have investigated, physical testing involving either -1 or 2 instances is temporarily suspended. Yeah, we're the Big Dipper. And I'm the serpent. Current knowledge of other ingress points is limited, with the GOC's entry point in Norway being the only other currently known. It's suspended that other groups of interest may also be in possession of ingress points. However, attempts to apprehend individuals associated with the other GOYs have found little success with the interference of -1 instances. A building I would step into. Yeah, I mean, mechanic, I will just associate any SCP I read an SCP you would mess around with. Until it's a mirror and a snake. Then I'm gonna tell you now you should mess around with it because apparently that's the only thing you're afraid of. Incident report 7. During a routine test involving Foundation personnel, 3 armed individuals gained access to the premises who were unrelated to the test. It was later determined that these individuals gained access through a secondary entry point in northern Norway. These individuals claimed to be members of the Global Occult Coalition, despite protests from Foundation staff and several instances inside SB2713, attempted to restrain and remove one of the -2 instances. The Matvinko sisters who were performing during this incident attempted to stop GOC agents, but one of the 2 was seriously wounded. To prevent further escalation, Foundation agents fired at and neutralized the 3 GOC agents. After this incident, a previously known coincident radio source to the crab pulsar, which had been previously discovered by L.I. Matvinko, deviated significantly from its expected frequency for several weeks before returning to normal. Further investigation into the links between SB2713 instances and astronomical objects is ongoing, as the unusual nature of the observed deviation given the distance between the Earth and the Matvinko radio source. Someone should write a snake mirror SCP. And you all enjoying the idea of like exotic dances are the actual connected to the stars. Following incident 7, testing involving non-D-Class personnel was temporarily suspended. A D-Class individual, D11218, was outfitted with a radio communication device and sent to investigate the aftermath of incident 7. Upon being granted admission, D11218 began to explore the premises. Following several minutes of exploration and -2 instance N SCP, shouldn't be an A SCP 2713-2 instance? Or am I wrong? Or is that, oh no, it's the N is for the instance part, right? Not for, yeah, it makes sense. N-2 instance will self, oh, it still feels weird to say, who self-identified as Melina, invited D11218 to the back room. Back room, you say? Now, what we gonna do in the back room, Melina? What kind of plans you got for me, girl? It's actually the back rooms, as in like the horror back rooms. It's like, that's not what I thought we were gonna do. D11218 refused to orders from the supervising researchers. Dr. Foster and complied with the request from -2 instance. Of course he did. I mean, come on. Afterwards, the -2 instance requested to speak directly to Dr. Foster, identifying him by name, which was granted. The following is a log of that conversation. What is this? The North Pole. Oh, it looks like this is connected with, okay, we're definitely gonna read it then. It's not that long here. Good, good. And what is this? Oh, okay, yeah. How dare you? I mean, the dancing star does sound quite hard. Gonna have the sun have a solar eruption. Lady has been dancing on me so long I eclipsed, bro. Had a full eclipse right then and there, brother. Was this close to a big bang? Hello. My name is Dr. Foster. You wish to speak with me? You're so formal. You can hear me okay when I press this button, right? Yes. Good. I was wondering how long it would take you all to find this place. At this point, -2 instance begins to cough. You should point out that -2's breathing difficulties continue throughout the conversation. Who are you? I've always liked it when you fellas call me Melina. What is the purpose of this place? Why aren't you all just business? I just want to talk to you. I'm very certain I don't know it all. Everything doesn't revolve around you, sugar. I meant your foundation. Then what do you need from the foundation? Honey, it's less about my needs and more about you. I don't understand. Dash 2 begins to cough for several minutes before finally catching her breath. I'm sorry. It takes a lot out of me to talk to y'all. How can we help you? I ain't well, and I think y'all could maybe fix that if you wanted. Is your illness related to the coughing I hear? Oh, it's coming across as coughing. That's a little bit funny. Yeah, that's a problem. But it might worse than just a cough. What is wrong with you then? The actual instances began to cough uncontrollably and did not answer. That D11218 reported that she had quickly left the room they occupied. Following extensive exploration of the remainder of SCP-2713 over the next several hours, D11218 exited SCP-2713. At no point was he able to locate the -2 instance he had previously interacted with. I assume the star vanished. I was viewing this object procedures when I noticed the name Melina isn't just any star. Melina is an Inuit goddess who represents our own sun. Despite the containment procedures passing muster for our current understanding of this object, I'm passing this up to your command for further review. Dr. Cimmerian, Site 88, Ethics Committee, Liaison. The final encounter upon gets us. This seems to be part of a canon named the Gulf, which is canon set in the southern US. Gotcha. This part right here? Yeah, the Gulf canon. But this one's very short. I'm just gonna read this real quick. Will appear to be the techno remix of Santa Baby. Santa Baby. Blasted over the sound system while Polly began to strip. It was Christmas Eve inside SCP-2713, which meant the bizarreness was going to be stepped up the notch. 3 unarmed agents stood near the door, scanning the crowd for potential threats. 2 doctors with Foundation insignia on their badges sat at a bar observing the chaos around them. Man, look at that stellar body. Oh. I know what you are. Dr. Cimmerian grinned at Dr. Foster as he spoke. Foster for his part let out an audible groan. Cimmerian kept his smile in motion to the bartender. The man walked over and put another shot glass down, drawing the 7 other full glasses to Cimmerian's right. You know, the point of having to buy a shot every time you make a terrible pun was to keep you from doing it. Foster shook his head and looked over to the bartender who stood over the pair with a questioning look on his face. Oh, sorry. We're paying customers, but we can't drink on duty. The bartender nodded as though that explained everything and went back to wrapping the bar. The hot thing was a pun, by the way. Yep. I realized you were punning around. You think he's worried about running out of glasses? Cimmerian said, cocking his head to the side. I don't know. This place has always confused the hell out of me. When it instituted a 2-drink minimum last year, I stopped trying to figure it out. I also played with the single glass in front of him. This is one of the projects in your portfolio. I don't think you can do that, Cimmerian said, his smile returning. It's in there, yeah, he said before looking back up. But not by choice. Cause Melina knew your name. Foster drew a sharp breath. Yeah. What are you doing here anyway? Shouldn't the ethics license be at home with his family? Don't have one, Cimmerian said with a shrug. Plus, they want someone with a decent clearance to keep an eye on you, just in case. Oh, you feel comfortable telling me that? Foster looked back down at his drink. I've looked at your file. If you're going to betray the Foundation, you have done it a long time ago. Both men let that hang above the conversation for a second, then another, and then one more before Foster broke the silence. You think she'll show up tonight? The omnipresent music ebbed for a moment, and the 2 doctors looked at each other. She shows up every Christmas. Polly had finished her set, and after collecting her discarded clothing retrieved behind the curtains, the PA system boomed. Once again, put your hands together for Beth! The rest of the crowd rushed to the edge of the stage and looked up at the pole. The curtain moved and the catcalls began from the crowd, but neither of the 2 doctors could see anything on the stage at all. Every Christmas Eve, the biggest crowd would show up in 2713 all year, and every Christmas Eve, the Foundation would observe an even stranger event. A performer named Beth, the Foundation could not see. You know, they're just playing a joke on us about the Star of Bethlehem, right? Yeah, Foster said before turning back to his glasses. We're not going to get any new information out of this place this year that we didn't get the first year it happened. Maybe, the Marion said before grabbing one of his shot glasses and raising it in the air, but I'll sell it for the consolation prize. I know what you are. The Star of Bethlehem. Cool. What if the North Star dances and everybody explodes, which just makes a reference to the Fist of the North Star? Have you thought about that, Foundation? There. I gave you extra material. Put SB2713, the Fist of the North Star, make that into a dancer. Every time she dances, somebody, she just says, "You are already dead," and then somebody goes, "Nani?" I like SCP-2713. It was remarkable. I see what you're trying to do. I'm trying to use different words this time, huh? You didn't want to use unique because I called you out, eh? Now you're like thinking like, oh, it was remarkable. Oh, this SCP was marvelous. Fantastic even. Sensational! Yeah. But what happened to Melina? I like how the son in the SCP universe is a boy and a girl. Yeah, true, yeah. But I assume like they're more like a physical manifestation of a representation of a star, not the star itself. They kind of like represent, yeah. Because like if the sun starts coughing, I'll be like. Like, what was that? What does that mean, huh? Girl, why are you sick? The sun's supposed to explode in like 1 billion years, not now.